Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we discuss on the latest. As usual, we begin with defender Eric Garcia, who moved to Girona on deadline day. As the Girona manager lavishes praise on the Barcelona, saying that one of the best. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Robert Lewandowski, as the Barca superstar hits out at La Liga referees, he said they are killing the league. We are also going to be discussing on that. So, guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very much welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. The summer transfer deadline day saw Barca defender Eric Garcia secure a loan move to Girona. The 22-year-old had fallen down the pecking order at Barca and, as such, wanted to leave on a temporary basis so that he could play regularly. Girona had always been the frontrunners to sign Garcia, despite there being some interest from clubs in Italy, and eventually, late on the deadline day, the loan operation was confirmed. Having joined his new club, Garcia has already started training and could be in contention for their match against Las Palmas on Sunday. On the eve of that match, Girona manager Michel spoke to the media and had a lot of praise in store for the Barcelona loanee and what he brings to the table. The manager pointed out that the 22-year-old always wanted to move to Girona, and as such, there was no intention in the club despite the deal taking time to be completed. I was calm. I had spoken to Eric and he was 100% sure he wanted to come. We have Eric, who for me gives us good football and is very important and is a player of a level that we cannot have. And the player doesn't want to come, yeah. Touching upon what Garcia brings to the table, Michel highlighted his versatility and his ability to build up play from the back as important attributes, even claiming that the Spaniard was one of the best when it comes to the latter aspect, he said. Eric can play in any position in defense, also as a pivot, but in my mind, it's all about build-up play and what he can bring to us. In this concept, he is one of the best players in the world and that's why we want him here, he remarked. Earlier today, Barca manager Xavi also spoke to the media ahead of the Osasuna game when, during that chat, Xavi revealed that he wanted Garcia to stay and tried to convince him. But the player wanted to play regularly and asked to leave, he said. He came and told me that he wanted a change of scenery, that he needed it. I tried to convince him not to, but due to circumstances of fair play, this transfer happened, Xavi said. It will now be up to Garcia to make the most of his loan stint at Girona and force his way into the Barca setup for next season. Of course, deadline day saw a lot of twists and turns as we expected. Eric Garcia was linked to Girona before the deadline day, but I think some days prior to that, there were reports saying that Garcia will likely stay at Barca because Xavi has refused that he shouldn't leave. But at the end of the day, Garcia continued to push for a move, and that came to fruition as the player wanted more game time. It's very clear that Garcia was not satisfied with the game time he had under Xavi, especially last season, and the way this season started for him. He saw it coming that he wouldn't be an important part of Xavi's plans moving forward, even though the manager was convincing him to stay, hoping that things would be better for him. But the player wanted a move where he needs to play more. He believes that at Girona, he will definitely have more opportunities to play. He'll be an undisputed starter because he's a player who has played for City, he has played for Barca. And going to Girona, he believes that there will be definitely more playing time for him. So we can see Michel, the manager of Girona, lavishing some huge praise on the player, saying that he's an incredible talent and it's great to have him there. It's a loan deal with no option to buy. Of course, Barca will be hoping that this experience in on loan will help Garcia big time to balance his play. And of course, we know that being at Barca, there was no chance considering the depth in defense. Garcia was the least in the pecking order, and he deserves to be so because whenever Garcia is being on the pitch, honestly, he does not perform that well, and it have not. In fact, he have been criticized so much by the Barca fans for his error-prone nature and stuff like that. So he was loaned out, hoping that that loan will be a great help to him in his career moving forward. And of course, Garcia is also trying to see how he can return one day back to Barca and compete for the first team defensive role, which is going to be very, very difficult. But as I always say, never give up. So let's see how Garcia will perform in his loan stints at our Catalan rivals Girona. It's not too far away from Barca, as the player never wanted to take a very long distance away from home. And of course, we can see the manager of Girona so elated by the transfer. And let's see how it goes there. Because from the way the manager is talking, it's as if, Eric Garcia will be an undisputed starter at centre back, which is exactly what he wanted in his career. Then on to the final story of discussion. Robert Lewandowski is perhaps one of the most criticized players from Barca's opening three La Liga games. After all, last season's Pichichi Award winner has endured a relatively rough start to the new season. He found the back of the net in Barca's recent 4-3 win over Villarreal, and in the process netted his first goal of the season. It was his goal that helped Barca take home all 3 points on the night, as was the case on so many occasions last season. The Polish striker spoke to a recent interview today where he detailed some aspect of his life at Barca. Interestingly, he was very critical of La Liga and did not hold back in lashing out at the referees. He said, "Referees are killing La Liga. The league is not appealing and attacking enough." The Barca superstar then added the aspect of where La Liga lacked from a team's perspective and expressed his disappointment at the time wasting and other anti-football tactics employed. He said, "In my opinion, the style of play in La Liga has changed. It's not as attacking as it used to be. Of course, every season is different. Maybe it will be different now, but there are a lot of teams that don't want to play football. They play very defensively. I used to think La Liga was like that. Maybe a few years ago it was like that, but that's changed. It's not a league that's geared towards attacking, attractive football. Whether it's the referees or other people responsible for that, they are not helping." When asked about his future with the Polish national team, he said, "Before the Euro 2024, I will have decided whether or not to retire from the Poland national team." Finally, he spoke on how the final stretch of the game of football was always the most challenging and reasoned out the same. Sometimes in football, the last 15 minutes are the hardest for a player. That's when the fatigue comes in into play, and you have to put in the most efforts to stay at the same level. So, guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.